The latest Ghost Simulator update has brought with it a new puzzle that's going to be in Ghost World, and because it's a new puzzle and I actually haven't been playing too much Ghost Simulator recently, I figured it'd be a nice time to go try out the puzzle for myself. And so in this video I'll be going ahead and trying my best to solve that puzzle as fast as possible, and we'll get right into it. Alright, here we are in Ghost World, and we are going to go ahead and start the timer. Now, just a little bit before we really get started into it, I do have a little bit of knowledge about the puzzle. I've been trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible. Like, some of the stuff, like how it's formatted, and like one of the few things where stuff is found I've already knew about. So, not completely new to it, but I only really understand like the premise of the puzzle, that there's stuff hidden around the map that I'm going to need to solve a certain puzzle that's found somewhere. And other than that though, I am pretty much in the dark about what exactly the puzzle will be like. And because of that, I think we'll start by just getting a broad view, seeing if there's anything big new around the outskirts, and then get into trying to find all those small little things that we made. Alright, after a quick little journey around the map, I haven't found anything that's very big that stands out to me, so we're going to go ahead and start looking for some of those small little things that are located, probably starting at the first area and working our way towards the bigger areas ghost-wise that you normally do progression-wise. So that's our second number, which is a 6. We have a 2 over in the inside door over there, and we'll just continue looking through for those numbers. Alright, I've been spending a little bit of time looking around, and I have found the numbers 1 through 6 hidden around on these random things that are next to some somewhat significant areas. I don't know quite what's going on with them, but I've also located some numbers that are hidden behind all of the NPCs, which seem to be mostly in the 20 to 30 range, but for some reason some of them actually, at least one of them has a letter corresponding to it, which is going to be Dylan over here, or Bovin or something, and then one of them is also in the 70s. Because of this, I'm not sure what to make of these numbers at this moment. There might be something that I am currently missing with entry points or some way to interact with them, like the Bose cane that you need in the developer's chest. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to figure out what these numbers mean and put together some of the clues that I have found. Alright, so I've been wandering around for a while recently, and I haven't been making any progress with the numbers, but I did manage to go find this egg, which probably isn't at all useful for this puzzle. It's probably for a find item for the quest afterwards. But I've decided to start checking out some of the more obscure places in hopes of finding another hint or some other piece of the puzzle that I might be missing that might make me be able to interact with like the number pieces. I'm currently at this point thoroughly confused, and if I don't find anything like big that helps solve the puzzle, I might end up actually having to go look at the wiki to figure out what the next step is, which I really don't want to do. I want to figure out this puzzle for myself, but if, as you can see, the timer keeps ticking, I might be forced to take some action. Alright, it's been about another 5 minutes since I last stopped in, and I haven't found anything really new. I've been running around touching numbers, trying to click on stuff, and so I'm deciding that it's probably about time to go see if we can figure out anything from the wiki. So just going to go do some quick cheating on this puzzle. Hopefully you guys don't mind it, but if I continue too much, I'm going to end up stopping this video and deciding it's a horrible idea. So let's go see if we can get anything just small from this. So just as much to get us started. It looks like there is a button outside a castle area that I just need to click, which was kind of what I was expecting, was something that I just need to go find that I didn't know to start interacting with the puzzle. That's kind of all I was able to read in that short time, but it's kind of what I was figuring. So we're going to go ahead and start hopefully looking for this thing. I did manage to read something about a castle, so I'm assuming it's somewhere in here. and I'll come back to you guys when I find that. Alright, it looks like I have found it. It seems to be over here, kind of hidden off in one of the few places I didn't look, so we'll go ahead and hopefully click that. And it looks like it opens up this door. And it looks like we get a small little puzzle here. I'm going to just see how many digits we can enter really quick. See what our limit is for amount of entries. It doesn't look like we have, so we need to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 digit code, which I think will correspond to some of the NPCs or something. Also looks like there is a dial here for phone-wise. Don't know how important that is right at the moment. Might be a find item later, but we'll go ahead and start looking back at the NPCs since I feel like they may have some hints for what we do with numbers. So we seem to have 9 NPCs, each with a two-digit, mostly numbers, but Shelly has a D-inners of these combos, and then also 6 of the numbers that I've found so far ranging from 1 to 6. And I'm assuming it's probably something to be like, starting at 1 here, we trace over to 2, and then use like one of these 2 NPCs as the first number, or something like that. Something to do with these numbers indicating the order in which we use which NPCs. But I could be wrong. I'll try that out really quickly, see if that gives us anything specific, and then try to figure out what to do with all of these numbers, which seem to have a lot of 3. Alright, I've kind of started on that little pathfinding thing, and I realized that it's probably not going to work correctly, and I decided to go ahead and start messing around and see if I can, for some odd reason, glitch my way into this area whatsoever. So just to see if I can cheese the puzzle at all before getting too invested in trying to figure out how the puzzle all works together. If this cheesing doesn't work though, I was thinking maybe going ahead and trying to multiply all the numbers together and see if we get a 12-digit result, because I feel like that could be a pretty easy way to work with numbers that could give a pretty decent result. But we'll kind of save that until after we've tried messing around a little bit with getting in. And while actually messing around, I did find another keyhole, which we probably will need it later, so I will hopefully be able to remember this when we stumble across a key. Alright, I have gone ahead and multiplied all the numbers together, excluding this one since it looked a little weird with having a letter in there, and I got a 13-digit number. And so knowing that, I'm going to go ahead and divide this 4, since maybe the D stands for divide, and see if, since that will bring me down to a single 12-digit number that I multiplied by, and that gives us 595,397,088,000, which is a 12-digit number, but I don't actually hold too much hope for it actually being the solution to this puzzle, since it doesn't quite feel correct. But we will go ahead and enter that 595,397,088,3 1, 2, 3. And it looks like that was incorrect. As I said, I wasn't holding too much hope for that one. Would have been amazing if it was. But there's also this phone in here that I'm trying to figure out why in the world we have it. It may be a hint, but I'm not quite sure. But one of the things I was noticing is that there are 2 different NPCs with a 20 on them, which just happen to be, I think, Yoko and Fern. But I don't know if that's at all going to be helpful in solving this puzzle. Alright, I don't quite know what I'm going to do at this point. But I still do have the numbers 61, 32, 30, 20, 79, 39, 33, 20, and a 4D to think about. I think probably the best thing is I've kind of been ignoring the D for on the Shelleys for a while, is to think about what that might mean and then see if we can figure out anything from there. Alright, we've done some more sitting around and thinking and not getting anywhere. And kind of the last thing I've been thinking about is maybe it's the 12-digit code isn't related to the numbers behind the NPCs and is rather related to some sort of phone sort of thing where you have the letters mapping to a number based off of their position on the phone's keypad thingy. And the only NPC that I know of in the Ghost World that has 12 letters to map to a 12-letter code would be the Gatekeeper. There doesn't seem to be any other hints on the wiki. The next part seems to just be saying the code, which I've been trying to avoid looking at for too long. So I've kind of just been trying to figure out these numbers more, and nothing's really clicking with me right now for how the numbers all fit together. And it doesn't look like I can interact with anything by clicking right now. So I think we're just going to continue running around in circles, or just cheating and getting it off the wiki, but I'm going to try to solve this myself for a little while first. May end up being a big time skip for the next time I come and check in. Alright, it has been a while since I last checked in, and at this point I have thoroughly given up on trying to figure out the puzzle myself, and have just gone and checked what it was on the wiki, since I am cheating and horrible at puzzles for some reason. Anyways, the code according to the wiki was 62932019, and I've been spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out why in the world this number comes up, given the clues that I have, and I can't figure out any way why this shows up, but obviously there's a way, otherwise people wouldn't have actually uncovered it. But you can go ahead and enter that to figure out the code. But yeah, I am definitely cheating quite a bit. Anyways, now we get to here, which looks like we have a rainbow of colors. And one thing I have been kind of thinking about recently has been the numbers that have been on the 1 through 6, and so on those I've realized that they are on some different colors. This one's on a blue, the other one over here is on a brown door, and I'm just trying to think if that might be relevant to the puzzle. So we'll go ahead and see if that makes any sense with this puzzle, or if it's going to be another thing that I just have no idea about. Alright, I've been trying a few codes so far, starting with the ones where the numbers were sitting on them, which didn't work, and then I've been kind of doing random stuff like the colors inside the room. One of my current theories that might be related to these streams are kind of everywhere in Ghost World, in which case it'd be pink, blue, the light blue, and then green. So we'll go ahead and try that. So pink, both blues, and green. Which doesn't seem to be the case. We'll try just inverting that really quick and see if that helps. But yeah, as I said, it looks like I'm not able to solve this puzzle very quickly. Anyways, I'll give it some time for me to think about. But I might just be bad at puzzles. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do some little thinking on it. Okay, after doing a little bit of research, aka browsing the Discord for the game, I've figured out where the numbers actually come from. And apparently the numbers behind the NPCs, they relate to an ASCII code, which basically translates into different numbers and letters for each of the different NPCs, which probably should have clued in when they were ranging from like 20s and 30s, all clustering around the same spot, but I was kind of thrown for a loop with some other stuff. But the 40s should have probably been a dead giveaway. That was something hex. It was kind of a somewhat related. I kind of was thinking hex, but I didn't quite think ASCII hex. But anyways, it basically translates to May 3rd, 2019, which is the opening date for Ghost Simulator, and the May basically would be this phone's kind of a hint for that. So that's where the first part of the code comes from, which I figured out after just looking it up and didn't really figure out. But now that we were moving on to the number color part of it, I haven't quite looked up the solution to this one yet, so we're still working on it. But I am guessing it has to do with the numbers scattered around the map, since I don't think those were used for decoding the ASCII code there. Alright, so I managed to stumble upon the password on accident this time. Basically what I was going through, I was hoping it was related to the numbers, but I was going through and starting with the first thing, and then whatever colors were on that, and then basically flipping every switch that was related on each thing. So since the one was on the soul converter, it had cyan, green, and pink for the gem, so I flipped all of those. And then the second one was on a door with just yellow, so I flipped that, and basically continued flipping stuff until, well, the third one where it came out with this code and I just tried entering it and it worked. But I'm assuming that was somewhat correct, since following it seemed to work. And now that I think about it, there was probably nothing really left in the 4, 5, or 6, since 4 was pointing to a door that was kind of black and didn't really have any of the colors. And then 5 and 6 were both just on 2 purple things. So I don't know if that is the correct and how that actually works, but I did manage to get through that part of the puzzle before 2 hours were up, and now we're in a maze again, which is definitely not giving me flashbacks to the amount of time I spent hamstering around in the void, since I never really cared to solve it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and continue running through this aimlessly. Alright, so we have definitely found something related here with this, and it looks like this will probably be the color-based puzzle. So the first one was on a cyan, we'll call that one. Second one was on a brown, we'll call it yellow, I guess. Third one was on a blue. Yeah, you guys can definitely tell I have no idea what I'm doing throughout this whole puzzle. Next one was kind of a green. I don't think there's a purple option. So we'll go with that, I guess. And looks like that is incorrect. So we have both the blues and for colors, green, yellow, red. It's basically the same colors as the levers for this puzzle. And now I'm going to have to think about whether there's any other color clues throughout this whole thing. Alright, I found something that might be somewhat related, probably not, but I am too distracted at this point with the fact that there is this huge coincidence of there being 6 of the colors I'm actually using here. So we're going to go ahead and try to enter these 6 in this pattern in that board and see if that helps. I'm guessing it won't, but it does at least give me something to try without, so I don't start going crazy. Alright guys, I have done a little bit more cheating now on this last little bit because I could not figure it out, and even looking at the answer, I still have no idea. Unlike the first one, I'm not that I have figured out. I may figure out something later, but at this point in time, I'm kind of confused on what exactly this whole puzzle. But I think once we unlock this, which apparently seems to be green, light blue, yellow, pink, red, which I have no idea why, but now that we've unlocked that, we can go ahead and access the new NPC and whatever else other nonsense is out here. Now that I'm thinking about it, there might... that's the key is here, so you don't have to go through the puzzle each time. But now that I'm thinking about it, I may need maybe something to do with remnant gum, which maybe why it's hidden. I mean, I can go ahead and check anyways, but it doesn't look like it. But anyways, I think that's it for this puzzle. I now have an NPC that I can do, but as you guys can probably tell from this timer, I am pretty much done with this. Talking about the timer, I should probably stop it. But I'm pretty much done with playing Ghost Simulator at this point. And the only thing that we have really figured out is that I am pretty awful at figuring out puzzles myself. So anyways, I think that'll be it for this video. Hopefully I edited this enough to make it interesting, and hopefully none of you guys really caught on to the fact that I absolutely understood nothing from this puzzle. But I will hopefully see you guys in a future video.